Tonight, Sky Blue FC's way of the game is
Tonight
Tasha
marks the
Khan.
final game for Sky Blue FC for the 2016 season. Good evening and welcome to Yurcak Field. Alongside Dan Loletta, I'm Danielle Diavanzo, and thank you for tuning in here on YouTube. A lot of storylines coming into tonight's match, but let's start off with the Portland Thorns FC having an opportunity to win the NWSL Shield for the first time in their franchise history.
Well, we got ourselves a treat tonight, didn't we? The Washington Spirit had two opportunities to win it. One of them was in Seattle a few weeks ago before the FIFA break. They lost that game. One of them was last night in Chicago. They lost that game 3-1, and that opens the door for the Thorns. A draw or a win gives them the Shield. If they lose and Sky Blue is able to spoil it, the Spirit will get the Shield anyway, and it will be the first one for either team.
And looking at that, if the Thorns are able to win tonight, they will host the Western New York Flash, who are currently in the 4th seed for the playoff contention. If they lose to Sky Blue FC, they'll be hosting Chicago on Sunday.
Well, tough matchups both. A lot of people probably watched the Thorns play the Flash on FS1 2 weekends ago, and it was a 3-0 lead for the Thorns. The Flash came back and made it 3-2, almost found an equalizer, but I don't think that game really played out in a manner that would make you think the Thorns would be ahead 3-0. They got a counterattack goal. The Flash really had the better of play most of the first half and were somehow 2-0 down, and the Red Stars have always given really every team in the league, but they've always played the Thorns fairly tough, so tough games, either one. I don't think it really matters which way to go. I think they're looking for the trophy tonight.
And I know we talked about this in pregame. You're not too happy about it, but with the way that the format was this season, we had the rivalries play 4 games with certain matchups. Western New York Flash played the Boston Breakers 4 times this season, while Portland played Seattle 4 times this season. Do you think that this type of playing format had anything to do with how the standings ended up?
Well, certainly the Flash got some favors. They played Boston 4 times. They beat them 3 times with a draw. They scored 17 goals. Boston only scored, I think, 14 for the entire season. I prefer, like most traditionalists, to have the schedule to be as balanced as possible. Now, you can't always have a completely balanced schedule when you have a 10-team league, but I don't particularly like the rivalry games, partly because you want to make the rivalry games more special, and too many of them waters it down, but you just want to spread the wealth out as much as possible. The Breakers could have just as easily been a better team, and you look at it on the flip side, and Houston couldn't beat Orlando, and Orlando only beat 3 out of 4. They lost to Orlando, and Orlando only won 3 other 16 games on the season. So it's hard to say, but I would prefer if the schedule was more as balanced as possible.
I think you and I both agree on that, but due to the play of the Western New York Flash, they are now in the playoffs and looking to see who they face this upcoming week. Now, looking at Sky Blue FC, at the beginning of the season, a lot of people, including ourselves, thought they maybe wouldn't be doing as well as they have. How have they exceeded expectations phenomenally?
Well, for starters, Christy Holly has come in here and flipped the culture around here, and everyone is very close to the vest about what the culture might have been before he got here, but these players love playing for Christy Holly, and he has brought in players who have wanted to be here, and that hasn't always been so easy to find, but he has found players who want to be playing here for Sky Blue FC. He's made some of the players who have been here for years want to be here even more than they did. They are playing as a unit, and they got some surprise results earlier in the season. There were other parts of the season where you can tell that probably they're a player or two away from really being contenders, but the fact that they were in the top 4 1 week before the league went on the Olympic break, somewhere after the second half of the season, was remarkable. They have a chance tonight with a win to spoil the party for the Thorns, and even if they get a draw, that'll make them finish 500, which not many people, if any, myself included, thought would have happened back in April.
And if you look at Sky Blue FC too, they haven't really had any consistency in regards to their starting lineup. They've had a lot of injuries, and despite that, they have done so well. And one of those players is Samantha Kerr, who has scored a goal in the last 4 games.
Yeah, that ties the Sky Blue record set by Monica Ocampo, who actually missed one of the games in that 4-game stretch, but 4 straight games for her. Samantha Kerr, I have said this time and again, I believe is a top 5 forward in the world when healthy, because not only is she scoring goals, she's setting up goals. She set up one for herself when she knocked one out of the midfield. Maya Hayes got on it, there was a save, and Kerr followed it up. She is an unbelievable talent, and she only just last week or 2 weeks ago turned 23 years old. She's been in this league since she was 19. An extraordinary player. We'll see if she can get another one tonight.
And another storyline tonight, Nadia Nadim, who Sky Blue FC fans know and love, was traded prior to the season so Sky Blue FC could get Raquel Rodriguez second in the draft. Nadia Nadim, makes her first return to Yurcak Field since the trade.
And she should be popular here. She recently became the first player in league history to get 2 hat tricks, and she got her first one for Sky Blue at Houston in a game a couple of years ago. She's also a dark horse for the Golden Boot. She comes into the game with 9 goals. The leader right now is Lynn Williams with 11. Now, to win the actual Golden Boot, Nadim's going to have to score 3 and pass Williams, because the first tiebreaker is assists, and she's 3 behind Williams in assists. Also, Kaylia Ohai, who has 4 assists, 1 behind Williams, has 10 goals, 1 behind Williams, and she plays later on. But I think if Nadim gets 3, the Thorns will be pretty pleased about it either way.
And looking at this matchup, as we all know, Sky Blue FC does have the edge in this matchup. What do you think will be the key for them tonight to make the upset?
Well, the Thorns have quality all over the field, and they have Amandine Henry as a deep-lying midfielder who's one of the absolute best players in the world. So the key for Sky Blue will be patient and organized in the back and figure out how to get the attack through Henry or around Henry, whatever they deem is the best available option for them. But if they allow Henry to win balls and lead the counterattack, then it could be a long night for Sky Blue.
And looking at the Thorns, they have a lot of quality all along the field, but they've never won here at Yurcak. If this is the night that they finally get that win, what is it going to take?
Well, Tobin Heath, who is from pretty near here and played for Sky Blue in another league many years back, has taken her game to a new level this season. For a long time, Tobin Heath would win a lot of possession and beat players, but they wouldn't do a whole lot with it. This year, she's on the short list for most valuable player, and I think if they can run things through Tobin Heath and Henri can win balls in midfield, with Christine Sinclair having a great season, just like you said, there's quality all over the field. So and there's the ovation right there for Tobin Heath, the local girl. But there's a lot of quality on this Thorns team. So if they can find the player who's having a good night, then they should be all right.
And overall, for Christy Holly, being a new head coach, leading this team, changing the atmosphere and the environment, what would be the final analysis of this team before tonight's game, at least, for the Sky Blue FC season?
I think he's got a lot to build on. They had 4 draft picks. They're all going to start in this game tonight. And like I said, people want to be here, and I think that he has really done a good job. This is a nice building block into the future. They do need some more players to contend, but if they get them, no reason they shouldn't be in the mix next year and not trying to spoil another team, but trying to get into the playoffs.
And Sky Blue FC hasn't been in the playoffs since 2013, have been coming close, but just can't seem to get over that final hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they were in there in July. They had a two-run late 2 years ago, but I just like the way they're building up, and if they can have a good offseason, then I would not be surprised to see Sky Blue in the mix late again next season.
So we have quite the matchup coming up here, so make sure you stay tuned. When we come back, Sky Blue FC hosts the Portland Thorns here in New Jersey. Alongside Dan Loletta, I'm Danielle Diavanzo, and we'll be right back.
It's the season finale. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Sky Blue FC as they take on Portland Thorns FC in the season finale for the Bees. I'm Corey Cohen with you for the broadcast here at Yurcak Field in Piscataway, New Jersey. Lots going on tonight, but also a lot going on next month. How would you like the chance to win a trip for 2 to this year's NWSL Championship match in Houston on October 9th? For 3 lucky fans, that dream will be a reality courtesy of the National Women's Soccer League. For complete contest rules and to enter, simply go to www.nwslsoccer.com/sweepstakes. And a big matchup tonight as the Portland Thorns have the opportunity to win the Shield with just a draw. They're currently 1 point behind the Washington Spirit. If they draw tonight, because the Spirit lost last night, Portland can walk away with the Shield. Sky Blue playing in this final match of the season, trying to improve in the program. We're going to step away for just a moment for the national anthem. And we'll return with all the action for you here as Sky Blue FC prepares to take on Portland Thorns FC.
And remove your hats as we honor the United States of America and the men and women who protect this great nation with the singing of our national anthem performed tonight by Amy Sosnovich. the bench.
And welcome back with us into the broadcast booth. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for both of these squads. We'll start with Sky Blue. Caroline Casey gets the start yet again for the Bees. She's been pretty darn effective since she's made her return to the starting lineup. Besides that, it's all the same from the Orlando matchup last week. And it should be a good matchup. Again, that same lineup. And Kelly O'Hara will be a player to watch, not just because she's a spectacular talent, but also because she's actually going to be playing up top tonight as opposed to her normal fullback role. Again, welcome in for Dan Lauletta. I'm Corey Cohen. So glad to have you tonight for the season finale for Sky Blue FC. Lots of ramifications in this one. If Portland gets the draw, they actually win the NWSL Shield.
That's correct. Spirit had 2 chances. They lost both games, and they failed to wrap it up. So the door is open for the Thorns. A draw or better wins them the Shield. Otherwise, the Washington Spirit and former Sky Blue coach Jim Gabera take it home. Either way, both of those teams will host semifinals next weekend.
So Portland, it's not their final game of the season, but for Sky Blue FC it is. And Dan, this season they've certainly done better than many people, pretty much everyone predicted. There's been a lot of improvement on a player-to-player basis for this Sky Blue team.
There has. They had a very good draft. They've got all 4 of their drafted players on the lineup tonight. They have for pretty much every match. Absolutely. They had Christy Rampone made a decision not to try and go to the Olympics, which to some signaled the end of her soccer career, but she's managed to play every minute of the season and been one of the top defenders in NWSL, even as the calendar said that she turned 41. She's not playing that way at all, and there's really a lot of positives to have come from this season for Sky Blue. And if they get a draw, they don't spoil the Shield party, but they do get a 500 season.
Absolutely, and that would be big for considering many people pick Sky Blue to finish 9th or 10th. Here they are with an opportunity to finish 5th place if Seattle loses and Sky Blue wins. That would be just outside of the playoff picture. Huge turnaround for a program that a lot of people thought were going to be dead on arrival.
Right, they're in 7th right now. A result gets them above FC Kansas City, and if they can finish level or ahead of Seattle on points, then they would finish in 5th place. The issue there is that the Reign have never dropped any point to Houston, and they're playing them tonight in the finale on FS1 right after this one. But Sky Blue mid-table finish. They'll get a pretty reasonable draft pick. They've got the Thorns first-round pick also next season, so if they can win this one, they'll get the 9th pick instead of the 10th, barring any further adjustments to that order.
It'll be interesting to see. And for Portland, this team's so incredibly talented. They've got such stars as Tobin Heath, Megan Klingenberg, and Christine Sinclair in the starting 11. Sinclair, the captain, of course. But as you mentioned, Nadia Nadim traded from Sky Blue before this season. And Amandine Henry, who they acquired just a couple of months ago, the French international, has come over and will help Portland in this playoff run. So, as we mentioned, this is not the final match of the season for the Thorns. They'll be hosting a semifinal match with the hope of being able to win the championship for the first time. But for Sky Blue, this is the season they want at least a draw, but certainly head coach Christy Holly, he wants 3 points every single match, and certainly he would like to spoil that for Portland tonight.
And I'm expecting kind of a wide-open match tonight. It's the last game of the season. I don't think the Thorns mind that kind of match. And I have a feeling that Sky Blue is going to open it up a little bit, especially early on, and see if they can go toe-to-toe with the very dangerous Thorns.
And we are underway with the season finale of the NWSL regular season. Tobin Heath, the United States women's national team starter, has the ball and will throw it in for Portland. Megan Klingenberg, another U.S. women's national teamer. And now the ball with Christine Sinclair, one of the most prolific players of all time in women's soccer, certainly Canada's top player of all time. She's just such an icon.
Not out of the question that she catches Abby Wambach for all-time goals either.
Absolutely. Just a spectacular player, and a nice interception there from Raquel Rodriguez from Costa Rica. She's had a productive rookie year after being drafted number 2 overall. The player drafted in front of her is Emily Sonnet, one of the center backs here for the Thorns. A through ball intended for Sam Kerr, but broken up by Sonnet. Although looks like Kerr was offsides regardless. And so Sonnet will take the free kick here. Just 22 years old, as I said, drafted #1 overall ahead of Rocky. And Dan, with the benefit of hindsight now through 19 matches and about a minute and a half, what do you think of the move from Portland to take Sonnet over Raquel Rodriguez?
Well, I think Sonnet probably filled a need more so than Raquel Rodriguez did, and I understand why they did it. I think Sonnet has not maybe had the strongest finish to the season, but if you look ahead, you can envision a Thorns team where Sonnet is their main center back for many years to come.
Caroline Casey in goal, not a very good boot that time. Ball with Tobin Heath.
Rodriguez also, remember, is an international player.
And that's knocked out of bounds, but we will see the first corner kick of the match. Rodriguez has put in time. In fact, she missed a match because she was away with the Costa Rican national team. But just coming off a stellar career in college, won the Mac Herman Trophy last season for the best player in the country, went to the ESPYs as a nominee for best female college athlete. And this season has appeared in 17 of the 19 matches. One that she missed was due to an injury. The other, as I said, was duty with her national team. The corner kick is taken. Lots of power behind it, headed away by Maya Hayes. Ball in the air. Still anyone's game, Henri. And Sky Blue will have a free kick here.
Henri, if you're not familiar with her game, played her trade over in France for many years. And a lot of people thought she was the best player at the 2015 World Cup. Unfortunately for her in France, it didn't translate to anything beyond the quarterfinals, where they lost in penalties after an extraordinary match against Germany.
Henri, a French international, hails from Lille and played for Olympique Lyon.
And she can boss the midfield from her deep-lying position on top of the back four.
Nice slide tackle there, but it looks like they called Haran for a foul, and so we'll see a Sky Blue free kick. Haran, of course, has the interesting story from Golden, Colorado, but sort of broke the trend of many women's soccer players in this country, and instead of going to college and playing on scholarship for 4 years, she decided to not go to college, passed up a scholarship at North Carolina, opted instead to go to France and play for PSG.
And I think that's the wave of the future. All it'll take is a little bit more money to start coming into the sport, and you'll see more players doing it. And I think that it's been proven time and again on the men's side that while college is a very viable option, that you can play yourself to be too good for college by the time you're eligible to go there, but you need to make it financially viable to skip college or defer college.
And for Haran, at least on the field, she had some stellar success. I mean, she's only 22 years old, and here she is with Portland. But at PSG, I mean, she had an amazing run there. In 58 appearances, she had 46 goals as just a teenager for much of that time.
Yeah, you think of her as an old-time player that came back, but as you said, only 22 because she went there right after high school.
Signed with the Thorns in January. Was a member of the women's national team this year. Ball with Henri. Klingenberg. Nice one-touch pass to Tobin Heath. She's inside the box. About 3 Sky Blue defenders there. Raquel Rodriguez trips up Tobin Heath. She's putting her arms up. It looks like Heath was going down beforehand. Sam Kerr with 3 defenders. Nice flick to Tasha Kai. A through pass. Can she find Sam Kerr? Sam Kerr in the box, and it's knocked away. Looks like we'll see a Sky Blue corner kick. Nice defense, though, from Catherine Reynolds, the fullback, playing damage control.
And Heath on the other end there, the referee actually got in the way of the Heath pass after she dribbled around the few players, and that helped Sky Blue spring the counter.
Great speed from Reynolds there.
Absolutely. And Kerr's not exactly slow, but that's sometimes the benefit of running to catch the ball as opposed to running to try to play the ball.
So Kelly O'Hara to take the corner kick, as she always does for Sky Blue. Tasha Kai gets a head on it. Sky Blue gets on the board early. 1-0 here with a 6th-minute goal from Tasha Kai. She always talks about that coconut head of hers. She uses it to find the back of the net.
Oftentimes, that back post is the most dangerous place to put a corner kick. It's hard for the goalkeeper to react to the angle. And there you see Kai overdoing Christine Sinclair, which is not an easy task. And the goal and the Washington Spirit for the first time in a few weeks, all of a sudden things looking up for them as the Thorns fall behind early.
So an incredible start for Sky Blue FC. We've seen some slower starts from the Bees, but look at that. Tasha Kai doing what she does best, just such a natural finisher. I mean, she stepped away from the game. If you haven't watched many Sky Blue broadcasts this year, stepped away for a few years, played rugby. I mean, she was far away from soccer down in her native Hawaii, and she came back, and instantly she's played in every single match and has just been such a key factor for this squad, both on the field but also off the field. Really brings that jolt of energy.
She has absolutely exceeded my expectations for the type of productivity she could have, and especially the fact that after a mid-season lull, she's picked it up again for someone who hasn't played organized soccer in 5 years. That's pretty good. And I don't think goal scorers ever forget how to score.
Exactly, and that's she finds a way to find the back of the net. She finds a way to finish. That's exactly what she did there. And a great ball from Kelly O'Hara, we should say, on the corner kick to find Tasha Kai. So Portland now looking to respond. Ball with Megan Klingenberg. Klingenberg, native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, went to North Carolina. You have to hope that Klingenberg, if she wasn't checking her phone beforehand, as this is the first game in the NWSL that's been on a Sunday, where football season, NFL season's been underway, and her Steelers are not looking too good right now.
Hadn't seen that score, but certainly Sundays in the NFL have gone very well together at this time of the year for an awful long time.
Through ball on the outside to Nadim. Henri. Nice pass, finds Haran. Haran still with the ball and picked up pretty easily by Caroline Casey.
Wish a very happy birthday to the daughter of Sky Blue FC captain Christy Rampone.
And I'm sure John Archibald, Director of Communications here with Sky Blue FC, is very happy. He's an Eagles fan. They lead the Steelers 34-3 at the moment.
John Archibald is the best Sunday, today probably being an exception, the best Sunday afternoon Twitter follow if you're an NFL fan.
Yeah, so he's certainly happy. Klingenberg, probably not so much, but she's got a whole lot more in her mind right now with her team trailing 1-0 with the Shield in their sights. 10th minute here in Piscataway, New Jersey. Sonnet sends it forward, way forward for Sinclair. Tobin Heath on the edge of the box. She's going to cross it in on the ground, and a breakup by Grubka, who, whether she intended to do it or not, her body was right in the path of that shot. Looked to be an incredibly dangerous shot from Haran.
I'm not sure any player has blocked more shots this year than Kristen Grubka.
She's just got a big body, just a natural fit for center back.
And not afraid to put it in harm's way.
Absolutely.
Proud sponsor of Sky Blue FC in our halftime contest to win $10,000 in groceries.
Caroline Casey has, there's a goalkeeper battle here at Sky Blue, and she's done a good job here on the back end of the season. Her save percentage is 73% over her fellow goalkeeper, Caroline Stanley, whose save percentage is a few points below that at 67%. And so we'll see, heading into the offseason, what the strategy is with Casey and Stanley. Both players certainly fit at goalkeeper, and both have had solid seasons. But it's tough to create some distance between one and the other.
It is. I think Casey, if anybody, goes into the offseason number one, with Stanley not too far behind, and a decent prospect for maybe somebody to come in and jump over both of them.
Casey, a draft pick, third-round draft pick from William and Mary, just 22 years old.
Look sharp
And her defense, full of some spectacular players and some veterans. You talk about Chrissy Rampone. They feel incredibly comfortable with Caroline Casey in net. Header from Sinclair back into the midfield. Rodriguez plays it.
For a young keeper, that's probably more important in the grand scheme of things. As Thorns finally figure out a way to get that into Betos. But I think for a young keeper, it's probably more important in the big picture to have your defenders feel comfortable. The mistakes will happen. The physical mistakes will happen, adjusting to the speed of play, maybe getting yourself out of position every now and then. But you can't really learn, or it's harder to learn, I think, how to get your teammates comfortable playing in front of you. And a goalkeeper-defense relationship where there's a lot of trust is vital to a successful team.
She's played about 8.5 matches because she substituted in when Caroline Stanley got hurt earlier this year. So she's
against Portland.
She's got 8.5 matches. Stanley's got 10.5 matches. And so they've had a pretty even opportunity. Casey, as I said, a bit higher of a save percentage. So we'll see what they opt to go with. Nadia Nadim in the attacking third, 13th minute here. Passes to Ali Long. Forward for Klingenberg. She was on. Can she keep it in? It's a jump ball, and it's loose. Raquel Rodriguez knocks it out.
Haran started that whole sequence with a fantastic switching ball. Second time she's done that in this game, so that's an invaluable asset to have for a player playing the ball out of midfield, to be able to go forward or switch the point of attack with a ball that good.
Here's Sam Kerr. Again, 3 defenders on her, and a brilliant slide tackle to break up the play. A tangle up there. Here's Haran. Leading through the center, about 20 yards out here. Finds Nadim on the right. Ball out of bounds. And a corner kick coming up for Portland. Nadim, for anyone who doesn't know, a fascinating backstory. A Danish international, although she was born and grew up in Afghanistan. Her father was actually killed by the Taliban. Left for Denmark and has played a good chunk of her career now in the United States, a professional career. So just an incredible story from her family, and also one heck of a player. Cleared away, and that'll bounce out. We'll see a throw-in for the Thorns right near that corner. Nadim playing her first away match here at Yurcak Field after spending 2 seasons with Sky Blue. And you mentioned, Dan, in the pregame show, she was traded as the ball is loose here, but Casey picks it up cleanly. She was traded along with the number 3 pick from Sky Blue for the number 2 pick in the draft and a first rounder in 2017. So essentially, they traded away Nadim, some draft picks involved, to get Raquel Rodriguez. Erica Skrosky calls Maya Hayes to the ball. Klingenberg right on top of her. Rodriguez now forward. Kai won't be able to get there, and it'll be played back to Betos. Throw in coming up here for the Thorns, back to Menges. Only player on Portland to play every single minute of this season. Obviously, lots of interruptions. Many players were down at the Olympics and a lot of national team members. So Menges, she's been the one steady member every single minute of the season. She's been on the field.
And Menges is the central defender now, and I'm pretty sure that the plan at the start of the season was Sonnet and Catherine Williamson, with Menges maybe playing on the outside and maybe not even necessarily being a regular starter at that right back spot, but second game of the year, Williamson went down with a knee injury. She's back now, but hasn't gotten her spot in the starting 11 back. And so the back four has been Reynolds on the right, Klingenberg on the left, with Menges and Sonnet in the middle.
In Piscataway, New Jersey, it's the Olive Garden.
Menges, very young player, just 24 years old, drafted in the third round of the 2014 NWSL draft.
And you can make a pretty good argument that Menges has been the key player for the Thorns. If they wind up with the supporter show, the NWSL Shield later tonight, you can make an argument that she's been the most important person because she helped hold that back line together for some of those games where they had so many internationals missing and they were getting dominated at midfield, but they always were stout in the back and very seldom capitulated in a match. And they got a lot of points that way that a lot of people didn't think they'd get.
Yeah, Klingenberg with the national team. Allie Long, a midfielder, but plays in front of the back line, away with the national team. Henri didn't get to Portland until June, as here we see the aforementioned Klingenberg on the left side. Cross it in. Sinclair with the header. Caroline Casey jumps up and grabs the save.
And that was just a beautiful sequence of soccer, starting with Sinclair to Heath, and then Klingenberg got the ball on the left side. So many good options on this team. And a good positional job there by Casey to be ready for the shot. But so many quality players who can knock the ball around. And when you take good first touches, you open up so much more space for your teammates. Good example right there from Portland.
Sinclair from British Columbia, but has spent much of her life in Portland. Went to college at Portland. Has been with this organization for quite some time. The captain of the Thorns. On top of that, captain for the Canadian national team. You mentioned has a shot to catch Wambach. She is second all-time in goals, just behind United States legend Abby Wambach. And Sinclair, she's 33 years old, but she has not slowed down at all. Was named NWSL Player of the Month in June.
Yeah, I think she's had a fantastic season.
Ball on the right, quickly disarmed by the Bees. Through ball for Kai, and she was called offsides.
Sinclair has been a part of 3 championship teams over the years in U.S. club play, including this Thorns team that won the inaugural NWSL championship. Sinclair scored the goal that iced that game away, 2-0 win over Western New York. Tobin Heath had the first goal on a fantastically struck free kick.
Yeah, just an absolute icon, both with club and with country. We mentioned last home match here, in the last match that Sky Blue played against Orlando, how Alex Morgan was on the cover of FIFA in the United States. In Canada, the player on the cover of FIFA was, of course, Christine Sinclair. 6 goals on the year for her. Henri into the box, looking for Nadim, who takes a strike way too much that time. Could have been beautiful, just a little too much power.
That's another time that the Thorns have been on the left here on the near side and crossed the ball or sent in a long ball over to the Sky Blue left side. That's where Aaron Simon sits at left back. And if you look across the Sky Blue back line, who's the player you want to attack? Probably it's Aaron Simon. So if you can catch the defense off guard with balls from the left to the right, that could eventually pose problems for Sky Blue.
Tobin Heath battling with Rocky Rodriguez. Back to Henri. Sinclair chases after it. Killian, nice boot out of there. This is her completing her second full season in the NWSL, although much of her first year she was injured, whereas this year, of the 20 matches, she's had 18 starts. And Killian there we see getting up. She was drafted second overall in 2015, the year before Rodriguez, and has been a key player as the holding midfielder for Sky Blue. Back to Casey here in the 21st minute. A boot over to the left side with Aaron Simon.
please check in with the Sky Blue FC table in the stadium concourse.
Passes all the way back to Grubka, graduate of Florida State. And here's Rampone. Haran loses possession as Kai comes all the way back from her striker position. Disarms Haran. Rodriguez, now Grubka. And a miscommunication between Skrosky or Hayes. Not sure if it was intended for either Hayes or Skrosky, but either way, Grubka was aiming for one, and neither one received it.
It's early in this match, but I'm going to say that Sky Blue needs another goal here. I do not think, especially playing like this, that they can keep the Thorns off the scoreboard for another 70 minutes.
Klingenberg with Hayes on her. Burns Hayes and through finds Sinclair. Back to Henri. And nice work on the interception by Killian. Sam Kerr on the right flank. Switches fields.
Look at that ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to extend a very
Kelly O'Hara playing on the left.
We thank you for spending your night with us.
Nadim,
Happy birthday and welcome to your
Haran, and now Reynolds. Ball in the midfield. Portland working to advance. Tobin Heath. Can Sinclair get there? No. Aaron Simon able to intercept that ball in its path. Klingenberg yet again working on this left flank. Quick pass to Haran. Right back to Klingenberg. Here's Ali Long. Now Nadim. She's got a little bit of space. Chip shot. Skrosky's there, but she'll let Casey pick it up. Portland, a shield for that fan base would be incredible. And it's a fan base that is so just amazingly supportive of their club. By far, the highest attendance in the NWSL, nearly 17,000 fans per game. That's the average that the Thorns draw to their games in Portland. The only other team in the league that has even half of what Portland gets in attendance is Orlando, and that, of course, was anchored by the fact that their first ever match drew 23,000.
And most importantly, numbers keep going in the correct direction for Portland. They've gone up, up, up.
Just an amazing soccer community. Is Sam Kerr here. Burns Klingenberg still going. Menges is on her, and we'll see a goal kick. So last touch off of Sam Kerr, and Portland will take the goal kick now.
Another terrific defensive job there from Menges.
The fans for Portland, the supporters group, the Rose City Riveters, and obviously such a passionate soccer town, but it's been really impressive how that's translated to the NWSL and the fact that the fans also are so passionate about the Thorns. And so they're certainly hoping to come away with the shield tonight. They get it if they draw here in New Jersey. You mentioned they won the championship, but they have not ever won the shield. So they're looking to make some history here tonight, 25th minute.
Win, lose, or draw, though, they will have their first ever home playoff game, which last time I looked, there were not too many tickets available for that match. That's a week from today. If they get the shield, they'll play the Flash, if not the Red Stars.
Free kick into the box. And it looks like a Portland player was offsides.
And if they do get the Flash, that would be a rematch of that previously referenced 2013 final when the Thorns went into Western New York back when the higher seed used to host the game and beat them. Also would be Paul Riley, who coached here for 2 seasons, 1 playoff season, 1 disappointing season last year, returning to Portland for an opportunity to advance to the final.
And you talk about the passion of the fans. That match in a week from now, that semifinal match, will be incredible to see the support out there in Portland. Maya Hayes cuts back. Skrosky.
Let's not sell the support short around the league either. Washington will play Friday. I expect a nice crowd from them too. The numbers might not be as big, but the passion is certainly there.
Well, as I said, no one can compete with what Portland has been able to do in terms of attendance. Again, Orlando, the only club that's managed half of what Portland manages on a game-to-game average. And again, that was in large part due to such an incredible first ever match for Orlando, as they are an inaugural team this season. So when you talk about attendance, really no one can come close to Portland, but certainly a lot of passion from around the league, including here in New Jersey. A very good crowd tonight, particularly for a match where Sky Blue FC, it's the final match of the season, and they're eliminated from playoff contention.
Well, Cloud9 marched in here chanting "No Shield Portland," so they're in it here. They want Sky Blue to make their mark on a trophy. They might not win it for themselves, but they can put their stamp on who wins the Shield.
Cloud9 getting a lot of fans amped up here at Yurcak Field. Of course, Cloud9, the supporters group, very loud over there in Section 9 as we enter the 28th minute.
And as far as Thorns attendance goes, their owner, Merritt Paulson, is always quick to point out that, yes, they have a fantastic soccer culture in Portland, but he's also quick to point out that his team and his staff work hard to help cultivate that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't just automatically draw all those fans to a match. You have to really go out and get people involved in your team. Just because they like soccer doesn't mean they're going to be invested in your club. A through ball looking for Nadim. And so we'll see Portland come up with the corner kick. Tobin Heath will take it for the Thorns.
It's interesting because O'Hara had the one corner for Sky Blue and found Kai, and they scored, but Tobin Heath hasn't had great corners yet in this game, but few players around this league serve a set piece as well as Tobin Heath.
And she's such a team player. 9 assists on the year for Heath. Nice curve on that ball, headed away by Rocky Rodriguez.
She's probably a little bit better straight on than she is from the corner flag. But when she's on her game, she can put that ball on a dime.
Henri can't get to it, and so a throw-in for Sky Blue. Skrosky. Now Maya Hayes, and that's taken away by Haran. Allie Long has some space in the midfield, and she wants to play it back. And back she does. Sonnet here. Klingenberg and Portland taking their time on this play. Henri, through pass, and she finds Christine Sinclair. Simon gets there before Nadim, and Sky Blue intercepts. So here's New Jersey on the counterattack. Sam Kerr, Klingenberg gets a foot in there. Kerr, it's up for grabs. And now outside of the box, big credit to Michelle Betos, the keeper for Portland, for not allowing Kerr to get there, and also a brilliant foot from Megan Klingenberg we see there.
Yep, that hurt. Look, if you look at it, it looks like that should have hurt Kerr more, but it looked like Betos caught the worst of that.
And Klingenberg, it didn't knock the ball out of play, but it certainly made it a lot tougher for Sam Kerr. And it helped Betos make a play on that ball.
And Betos will get in the mix and take some contact. She does not shy away.
Betos from not too far away, originally from Queens. The reigning NWSL goalkeeper of the year.
Another diagonal ball there and a nice clearance by Sonnet. Gives Sky Blue a corner. Betos is a nice story, too. I first saw her play when she played for the New York Fury in WPSL Elite. Was a fantastic shot stopper, very vocal and speaking to her defense. Had such a great semifinal game against the Flash. And they wound up, and I apologize, it's a throw in here, not a corner. Had a great semifinal, even though they wound up conceding 2 late goals. Started out in this league in Seattle, where she became the starter because Hope Solo was injured when the league began, and that was not a very good Seattle team, and Betos paid for that with some gaudy statistics. But since coming here to Portland, she has really found her game.
Grubka, powerful ball. And on the left side, she'll find Kelly O'Hara. Caught by Betos.
And it should be noted to close the discussion on Betos that Adriana Franch is the other goalkeeper in Portland. And Franch was the last goalkeeper, aside from the alternates, dropped from Jill Ellis's Olympic roster. And she's come back here to Portland and hasn't been able to crack the starting 11. This Betos took the job and ran with it. Got to start opening night. They flip-flopped a little bit, but Betos has won the job straight up.
And French has been great this year. In 6 matches, she's got an 86% save percentage, only allowed 3 goals to 22 saves. But Betos, as you said, she just held on to that job for dear life, hasn't let go. She's now featured in 13 matches. Here's Klingenberg. Every minute that she's been with Portland, she has played. So 13 matches she's been with this team and has played every minute of those, just the time with the national team when she was away.
Yeah, there's a bunch of players like that around the league. Becky Sauerbrunn, Samantha Mewis, I believe, unless she came out last night.
And offsides call gets Nadim. That'll come back.
I would imagine next season we'll see a few more players than normal play in the, do the every minute thing, because you'll have some of the national team players who won't have to miss any time.
Right, a player like Klingenberg next year, she won't be away with the national team mid-season. So a player just like Klingenberg could very well go every minute of the whole year. She didn't play in Portland last year. She was with Houston, and then the trade involving Orlando that sent Klingenberg to Portland, and then Alex Morgan from Portland down to the Pride. In the midfield, Sky Blue to counter. Sam Kerr, quick pass to O'Hara, but now the ball with Sonnet, and she plays it back to Betos.
The official superfruit of the NWSL.
Menges, now Klingenberg. .34th minute here in New Jersey. Sky Blue FC leading the Portland Thorns 1-0 in the season finale. Portland hoping to win the Shield before they move to the semifinals a week from today.
There hasn't been a whole lot decided on this field. When Sky Blue won their WPS title, they clinched the playoff spot in an off day after they lost the last game of the season. They got another result in their favor the next day. And they played 3 straight away matches. And when they clinched in 2013, they weren't here either. So in terms of women's pro soccer, there hasn't been a whole lot decided at Yurcak.
And it could very well happen tonight. Haran, now Henri.
Well, it'll be decided here. It's just a matter of whether the celebration will be here or elsewhere.
Tobin Heath crosses in, too much power. Simon lets that go, and we'll see a corner kick a goal kick for New Jersey here in the 35th. That header won by Tasha Kai, but booted away by Menges. Killian now slips past O'Hara, out of bounds, and we'll see a throw-in for the Thorns. Kelly O'Hara managed to come back very strongly after a tough injury to her ankle just a few weeks ago here in Piscataway. Missed just a couple of weeks and then was able to come back, played at Orlando, played with the national team, the United States national team, and obviously in the starting 11 tonight. It certainly looked at the time like it could have been a season-ending injury.
Didn't look good, I'll say that.
Here's Lindsay Haran.
With our players, coaches, and staff. If you want to join our post-game activities and are not currently a season ticket
Klingenberg, and she was off.
Similar thing happened last time Christine Sinclair was here. Toward the end of last season, she got taken down in the penalty area by Brittany Cameron and came off, and it looked like it might have been something serious, but she got herself healthy and ready to go again for Olympic qualifying. And right after that was Brittany Cameron's spectacular double save on Alex Morgan, who took the PK and saved it. And I can't remember if it was Morgan or someone else who followed it up. And Cameron made an even better save on that, on the rebound.
Into the 37th here, still a 1-0 score with Sky Blue FC holding advantage. But the game has certainly slowed down since those first few minutes. Not too many incredibly dangerous opportunities for either side. Sam Kerr loses it, and it's knocked away by Portland. Back to Simon. And here's Allie Long. Portland countering. Tobin Heath cuts back. Long. Now Henri and Nadim. And Raquel Rodriguez again knocks it out of Sky Blue's box. Maya Hayes cuts through Allie Long. Passes over to Kelly O'Hara on the left. Forward looking for Tasha Kai. Too much power. Betos fields it without any trouble. Allie Long, a player who spent 2011 with Sky Blue, also relatively local. She's from Long Island, your stomping grounds, Dan.
Yeah, Allie Long, Crystal Dunn, the Long Island contingent on the Olympic team this year.
So Allie Long, another one of the players who missed time with Portland this season, down in Rio, went to the Olympics. Nadim. As you mentioned, 9 goals. Would need a few to win the Golden Boot. In the box, header won by Skrosky.
The league actually has elected to go with assists as the first tiebreaker for the Golden Boot, so 2 for Nadim would tie Lynn Williams for the league lead, but technically the Golden Boot would then go to Williams, who has 5 assists, to 2 for Nadim. So, and also Ojai, who has 10, still can counter anything that happens in this game. She will play tonight for Houston. She's got 4 assists.
And Nadim, just another great season, obviously not this year with Sky Blue, but now with Portland. 9 goals, those 2 assists. And the last time these two teams got together, that match in Portland, Nadim scored one of the 2 goals. They won 2-1. She scored on a PK, and then she assisted a goal to give Portland that victory.
Well, how about Ojai? We had Ojai in the dash here July 9th. They got shut out for the 6th straight time. Ojai had 0 goals through 10 games at that point, and she's got 10 goals in 9 games since then. And just the fact that she's this close is remarkable considering her first half.
Yeah, Kalia Ojai, young player, but incredibly talented. Klingenberg, it looks like it was out of play, but I have to tell you, I thought she kept that in. It was certainly close, and she appealed that she believed that that ball was still in. It looked that way to me, but called out of bounds.
Halftime in about 5 minutes, and Evan Davis will have his regular halftime show. And I have to say, even though I've hosted it once, been a guest once, and you've been a guest once.
Foul there on Henri.
Now we might get a look at those Tobin Heath free kicks from straight in. But even though I've been a host, a guest, and you've been a guest, I think tonight's halftime will be the best of the season. So
absolutely.
I recommend everyone tune in or stay tuned in throughout halftime.
Yeah, I should say special guests.
Correct.
For the halftime show, and Evan Davis, as always, I mean, all season long has done an amazing job of the halftime show, but as you said, Dan, tonight will be something to watch. Tobin Heath on the free kick, a header, and it's in! Portland equalizes. The goal for Allie Long in the 41st minute. Tobin Heath, now her 10th assist of the season. What a spectacular free kick.
You just cannot place a free kick any better than this. It's low and dipping to the top of the 6. And if Long beats her mark there, which she did, it's a near impossibility for the goalkeeper to make a play on that ball without some sort of a massive collision. And Heath has done that all throughout the season.
As we take a look at it again, in front of Skrosky, Allie Long, she was backwards and managed to finish that.
So we're back on with the Thorns now as they play in that shield race. They do win the tiebreaker over Washington, having beaten them once with a draw, so they have the head-to-head tiebreaker.
So they say if the results hold, that's what everyone always says. So if the result holds, then the Thorns would win the shield, as Horan not expecting that ball. It bounces off the back of her legs. Tobin Heath frustrated. And if the results hold, then Sky Blue would finish 6th in the league. Currently, they're tied with Kansas City, although FC Casey has played all of their season, as Sky Blue still has this match to go. But they could finish, as we mentioned earlier, in 5th, just outside of the postseason, or down in 7th if they lose this match. They'd be tied with FC Casey. 43rd minute here after goals from Tasha Kai and Allie Long. Both members who've had some success with the United States women's national team. Kai was before her break from soccer. Allie Long, obviously more recently. Long cuts back. Here's Heath, right back to Long. Sinclair plays it to Horan. Now Long with some space.
Henri's been calling for the ball here down in the near side for quite some time.
Henri and Klingenberg, and finally Henri will get it.
Klingenberg almost took it away from her own teammate there.
Henri gives it back to Tobin Heath and right back to the French international. Here's Nadim. She's tripped up just near the box, but no foul called. Now in the 44th minute, and we'll see how much stoppage time is to be awarded coming up shortly. Amandine Henri back to Long in the midfield. To the right side, it's with Reynolds. And all the way back here to Emily Sonnet, the rookie. And so Portland, since they need a draw, you figure they've got to be pretty happy heading into halftime with a 1-1 draw here in New Jersey.
Well, I think they gave up the goal on what was a bit of an unlucky counter. Ball hit off the referee. Sky Blue won a corner kick. Then you have to defend that set piece a little bit better.
A long strike from Tobin Heath. Caroline Casey not caught off guard.
But since then, they've had the better of the chances. Sky Blue has had a few times where they've had dangerous diagonal balls for Sam Kerr. She hasn't exactly been able to get on the end of them. Those could turn out to be dangerous as the match goes on. But I think Portland, obviously they're in good shape because this is the score line they need. But I think they're also starting to push forward a little more.
Tobin Heath still drawing. Rodriguez gets a piece of it. We'll see a throw in for the Thorns. Henri will take it. So Tobin Heath now with 10 assists on the year. No one close to her in the league. Second place in the assist category has 7.
And she was one of those players who missed a bunch of time. And that's an NWSL record, too, with the 10.
Right, she's only got, this is her 13th start with Portland, and now 10 assists in just 13 starts. It's similar with the goals category. Sam Kerr, 5 goals in 6 starts now. Pretty incredible. So pretty much no added time there, and we hit halftime with Sky Blue FC and the Portland Thorns tied at 1 apiece. So very interesting. It looks like it's going to come down to the wire whether Portland can hold on and win the NWSL Shield or if Sky Blue can take it away from them. We're going to take a break for halftime. Make sure you stay tuned for Evan Davis. Again, a very special halftime show tonight for the season finale. But before we break, just a reminder, 1-1 Sky Blue FC against Portland. Stay tuned for the halftime show. We'll see you in the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, time.
The NWSL Championship is coming to Houston this October. So what's that mean? Here's your guide to the NWSL Championship in just 60 seconds by me, Melissa Henderson. The National Women's Soccer League is the top women's soccer league in the United States, featuring 69 national team players from around the world, including 37 Olympians and 19 members of the World Cup winning United States women's national team. Houston was pre-selected as the 2016 NWSL Championship host city. America's top 2 professional teams will meet in Houston for the NWSL Championship. It's the end of the line for pro women's soccer playoffs, and it's all going down in H-Town. So here's how it works. There's 10 teams in the NWSL. Top 4 teams in the regular season standings make it to playoffs, with the higher seed teams hosting each semifinal match, and the final 2 face off for the chance to lift the trophy. Support women's pro soccer and join us at BBVA Compass Stadium to see who will be crowned this year's champion. Sunday, October 9th at BBVA Compass Stadium. Get your tickets now at bbvacompassstadium.com.
Hi, welcome to Pine Belt. How can we help you today?
I'm looking for a full-size vehicle that can fit my family and all their stuff.
First, we have the Chevrolet Traverse with 4G capabilities so they can connect all their devices. Then, we have the Chrysler Pacifica with one of the best entertainment systems in its class.
Do you think it'll be roomy enough?
I would say so. Pine Belt, official sponsor of Sky Blue FC.
Hello and welcome to the Sky Blue Halftime Show. It's the final one of the regular season. I am Evan Davis. We are coming to you live from the Cloud9 supporter group section here at Yurcak Field. I am joined by Jen Mueller, one of the leaders of the group. Jen, thank you so much for being on with us today.
No problem.
We want to talk a little bit about the history of the group, what it means to this team. Tell me a little bit about how you got to be involved and what you do for Cloud9 as it pertains to the rest of Sky Blue.
Well, I met Melissa over here, who's been holding the flame for Cloud9 since, what, 2000? And Heather. About 2013, I met her in Philly for the World Cup qualifiers in 2014, and asked if she needed help. She said yeah, and I found out it was just her. So last season was our first season kind of as a proper group, memberships, discounts, from the team, and yeah.
No, so elaborate on that. How has Cloud9 evolved? What is the function? What do you guys want to actually bring to the atmosphere at Yurcak Field?
We're here to sing for the 90. We're here to bring atmosphere, to get the crowd going, and to show the team our sport.
Who do you got? Who do you got right here?
One thing. I'm
All right, so this is Heather Lamb, one of the other leaders of Cloud9.
I just want to add one thing. We're also here to bring fans to games. So we, this season, we developed a rideshare group, which was very successful. Anyone who needed a ride would post in the group, and it was very successful. And we got groups going to Washington. We had a group going to Boston, and it was very successful. So all we want is to bring people to games to experience the atmosphere.
Yeah, if you're like in the city of North Jersey, if you're somewhere and your only excuse is you can't get here, we will get you here. We'll find a way to get you here.
So what does it mean? I mean, we've got over 3,000 people, maybe 3,500 here tonight at Yurcak for the final home game of the regular season. What is this atmosphere like? How have you seen the atmosphere at Yurcak change over the years now that we're wrapping up the 4th season of Sky Blue in the NWSL?
Well, hopefully, and this is me personally speaking, I think we have more loyal fans. The fans who are here for Sky Blue, not just here to see the national team stars. And that's something that we really cherish. I mean, we support every player on this team. So if anybody leaves here tonight knowing someone else apart from the national team stars, then that's well done.
And what does Cloud9, obviously this team has such a strong New Jersey identity. How do you guys want to make Cloud9 more part of kind of the general cultural firmament in New Jersey as a part of the community here?
I mean, I think next year we're going to look to do more community relation type, like getting involved in more charitable efforts. I mean, really, it's our attitude, right?
Absolutely. And New Jersey has a long history of developing some of the top players in the country. I mean, the Olympic development program here, the PDA system, soccer has always been one of the best and top sports here in New Jersey, and the soccer culture here is very strong.
Well, this has been an amazing crowd. I think we can all agree that despite all the transition that Sky Blue has gone through, it's been a pretty great season. How have you guys, how would you characterize the on-the-field product now that the season is coming to the close?
I mean, I think they defied everyone's expectations. We always had faith in them, but I think they made some people eat crow. Hal Kaiser.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what Christie's done. He's really instilled a belief and just a desire and passion in the team. And even though we lost some key players, we gained even better players, I think, in the draft and through trades and signings. So we've done really well this season. As Jen said, we defied all the odds. We're going to finish on a high note, definitely.
Well, it certainly has been a lot of fun seeing you guys here week in and week out throughout the season. We will see you guys next year. Jen Mueller, Heather Lamb, two of the leaders of Cloud9. And give it up for everybody in the Cloud9 supporter section. Hold up those Christy Holly signs. Hold up those Christy Rampone signs. This is the group that makes everything kind of tick here at Yurcak Field, and it's been a wonderful season. I'm Evan Davis. Thank you to everybody who has helped out with the Sky Blue Halftime Show. For Kurt, our director, for John Archibald in our media relations, and everybody at NJ Discover. It's been a great season. Can't wait to see you all next year. I'm Evan Davis. Join Corey Cohn and Dan Lauletta one more time for the second half. 1-0 Sky Blue. Good night.
Hi, welcome to Pine Belt. How can we help you today?
I'm looking for a full-size vehicle that can fit my family and all their stuff.
First, we have the Chevrolet Traverse with 4G capabilities so they can connect all their devices. Then, we have the Chrysler Pacifica with one of the best entertainment systems in its class.
Do you think it'll be roomy enough?
I would say so. Pine Belt, official sponsor of Sky Blue FC.
The NWSL Championship is coming to Houston this October. So what's that mean? Here's your guide to the NWSL Championship in just 60 seconds by me, Melissa Henderson. The National Women's Soccer League is the top women's soccer league in the United States, featuring 69 national team players from around the world, including 37 Olympians and 19 members of the World Cup winning United States women's national team. Houston was pre-selected as the 2016 NWSL Championship host city. America's top two professional teams will meet in Houston for the NWSL Championship. It's the end of the line for pro women's soccer playoffs, and it's all going down in H-Town. So here's how it works. There's 10 teams in the NWSL. Top 4 teams in the regular season standings make it to playoffs, with the higher seed teams hosting each semifinal match, and the final 2 face off for the chance to lift the trophy. Support women's pro soccer and join us at BBVA Compass Stadium to see who will be crowned this year's champion. Sunday, October 9th at BBVA Compass Stadium. Get your tickets now at bbvacompassstadium.com.
What if everything that matters to your health was all connected? Your fitness center, connected to your everyday doctor, connected to all the best specialists and hospitals around, connected to your nutritionist, to your physical therapist, even at-home care for your mom. And everything's connected so you can make appointments online. Wouldn't you like having connections like that? Well, thanks to Meridian, you can. Hey, it's good to be connected.
Find all the connections that matter to you at Meridian Health, taking care of New Jersey.
Folks, it's halftime here. How would you like to win a chance for a trip for two to this year's NWSL Championship match in Houston on October 9th? For 3 lucky fans, that dream will be a reality courtesy of the National Women's Soccer League. For complete contest rules and to enter, simply go to www.nwslsoccer.com/sweepstakes. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Just about ready to begin the second half here between Sky Blue FC and the Portland Thorns. I'm Corey Cohen with my partner Dan Lauletta. If you just joined us from the halftime show, excellent work from Evan Davis talking to Cloud9, something very unique and very special. So Dan, let's talk about the match down on the field. It is 1-1. Obviously, Sky Blue got started with a goal in the 6th minute from Tasha Kai, and then Ali Long equalized later in the half. What do you think about the flow that this game's been in?
Well, I think the flow is favoring Portland just a little bit. I think they have more quality offensive players. I think they play more one-touch soccer than Sky Blue does, and I think it shows. That being said, it was set pieces on both goals. Sky Blue had a counterattack, won a corner kick, sent it in. Tasha Kai finished it. Thorns won a free kick. Tobin Heath sent it a fantastic ball, and Ali Long made a very nice finish on it, which shouldn't be overshadowed by the great free kick. But I think
she actually did it backwards.
Yeah, she did. It was a very nice finish. I feel as if Sky Blue needs to figure out how to attack the Thorns. I think that they're going to have to try to keep them off the scoreboard also, but can they get in and get a couple of quality chances? They almost had Sam Kerr set up a few times. Can they get Kerr in behind the defense? I feel like the Thorns defense is good, but I think it's beatable. But can Sky Blue do enough through the midfield in order to make that happen? And if they can, then they can get another goal up there, but the Thorns are just happy with 1-1, and that's their trophy.
Now, you talk about Tobin Heath, and obviously the free kick from her. She got her 10th assist of the season. She's just had a great year, and not even a whole season because she's been away with the national team. And she's a player who would be considered for Player of the Year, and we're talking about this match perhaps being a make-or-break sort of a thing. If people are looking at it, looking at McDonald or Williams from Western New York, if they're looking at Tobin Heath, that was certainly a very good first half with that assist that she had.
And if you go back to the start of the season, Portland had a lot of new pieces that they were trying to integrate, good pieces, but new pieces that they were trying to integrate. And Tobin Heath for April and probably into May and mid-June was bar none the best player in NWSL. She owned whichever side of the field that she was playing on a given night or for a given stretch of time. And she was the biggest reason, in my opinion, that Portland gelled as quickly as they did. She might not be playing as well second half of the season, but still very, very well. And we saw that the free kicks, when they dip to the top of the 6th, they're nearly impossible to defend if you can get on your teammate's head.
And you mentioned, Dan, that Tobin Heath, in that first half with the assist and the way that she played, or the first half of the season, I should say, she did win NWSL Player of the Month for the month of April. And
that was well-deserved for Tobin Heath winning that April Player of the Month. Really got the Thorns off on the right track. Remember, they didn't lose into July. They went the first dozen games of the season before they lost. And they did slip out of first place, and as we've said a few times already, the Spirit had 2 opportunities in the last 2 matches to put away first place, win the Shield, get the top seed in the playoffs. They lost both those games, and the Thorns, after they beat the Flash 2 weekends ago on national television, now with an opportunity to take first place with a draw.
And we are underway with the second half here between Sky Blue FC and the Portland Thorns. I'm Corey Cohen with my partner, Dan Lauletta, here at Yurcak Field.
Get your heart rockin'. The Lyrics for Life series will help you tune into your health. For event information, visit www.meridianhealth.com/tuned into your health.
Portland wearing the red uniforms, heading in this half from the left side of your screen to the right. Sky Blue, of course, wearing sky blue kits, heading from the right to the left. And so Now in the 47th minute of action, we see a foul, and Sinclair is down. That does not look good for the captain of the Thorns.
Looks like they got her. Oh.
Might be nose. So something involving the face. Either way.
Did the ball hit her, maybe?
I think it hit her on the way down the field.
Thought maybe she got clipped from behind, but on the replay, nobody touched her, so the ball must have hit her.
It was tough to say. Looked like there was no contact with another player. As there we see Long, Henri, Nadim Klingenberg, Horan, and Heath all around her.
You can see the referee call.
So we see, you know what, it looks like she might have, an elbow got her. I believe that was Grubka. As we take another look at it. Yeah, I believe that was Grubka, number 13 for Sky Blue FC. We see here going up for the header. And now Sinclair is up. Can't quite tell if it's her nose or if she got hit in the head, the forehead. Either way, certainly hope that she's all right.
Well, she walks off. Will give us an opportunity to wish well to the family of Lauren Holiday, who former national team star and FC Kansas City player, NWSL MVP, gave birth in recent days to a baby girl. And next step for Lauren Holiday will be surgery to remove what is a benign brain tumor, but scary thought nonetheless. So all the best to Lauren Holiday and her family, which was just expanded by one.
So best wishes, of course, to Lauren Holiday and her medical situation. A cool moment a few weeks ago when Cloud9 on the road, a few of the Cloud9 faithful joined up with the FC Kansas City fans to honor Lauren Holiday in that match.
Looks like Sinclair's waving to get back on.
And so she will re-enter this match. Nadim plays this ball back. Tasha Kai is there, can't keep it in, and so she'll send that to the parking lot. On the left flank. Now we see Allie Long. Skrosky cuts back. Long is there. Kelly O'Hara. It's been interesting to see her playing in a more advanced position.
It's really a question that began in 2013 about where she would play in the league, and it has never gone away. It's amazing. 4 years in, and we just can't seem to settle on what the best position is for Kelly O'Hara, either for her or for the team.
The ball with Kerr. She gets broken up, and that is just wide of the net from Rocky Rodriguez. We see Kai with that head. Sonnet was there, and then Sam Kerr. That actually might have gotten her arm.
Might have. Mangus also got away with a little bit of a shirt tug there in the box, and you could see Betos thought about going for that, put her arms up when she realized it was heading wide.
So if you figure it equals out, then we're back to where we started. 1-1 here in the second half of play here in New Jersey. Simon. Couldn't find Rodriguez on that through ball. So far in this half, it looks like Rodriguez is playing in a more advanced position than she has for much of this season.
Well, I don't think there's anything in Christy Holly's makeup, and I don't think there's anything in what's on the line here for Sky Blue that would indicate they'd be pleased with 1-1. So I think they're going to go for this, and so it doesn't surprise me to see Rodriguez playing a little bit more advanced. Shout out, by the way, to the father of Christy Holly, Christy Holly's dad, who watches every webcast back home in Ireland, where it's a little late at night. So one of my favorite things is the West Coast games, get a little peace and quiet in the house. So thanks for watching.
Absolutely, and fans and followers and viewers all over the world. I mean, it's one of the incredible things about the NWSL is because it draws some amazing talent from all over the world, you've got fans from Australia, from New Zealand, from the United Kingdom, as we see Betos pick it up. I'm sure this game, there are a decent amount of followers from France watching.
Well, we know there's a Sky Blue fan who's been here already 2 times from Iceland to watch games. And the great thing is the YouTube streams are not geo-blocked, so anywhere in the world you are, you can tune in to a live or recorded NWSL.
Right, it's all archived. As we see Portland challenging here, and no foul called.
With our players, coaches, and staff. If you want to join our post-game activity,
but yeah, certainly Sky Blue. Most dedicated fan might have to go to trip from Iceland to New Jersey 2 times. She's actually here tonight. So if we're talking about shout out to her for making the trip. Rampone breaks it up.
I've heard good things about Ireland. What do you think of the Sky Blue broadcast team getting a free trip? Iceland. What do you say if the Sky Blue broadcast team gets a free trip over there in the offseason?
I say I'd like a free trip to either Ireland or Iceland. Why not both?
Good point.
Sinclair challenging for it, and she grabs possession, although the defense has settled a bit for Sky Blue. Sinclair. Through pass to Nadim. She gives it away. Tough to tell if that was intended to be a shot for the far post or if she was hoping a fellow teammate would be on that other side.
Not tough to determine. Christine Sinclair made a fantastic pass.
Oh, amazing.
Great patience, and just got Aaron Simon spun around there. I agree. Hard to say if Nadim was looking for the far post or for a teammate that wasn't there.
This through ball intended for Sam Kerr. Cuts back yet again, but this time some good defense from Sonnet. And Kerr, frustrated, gets called for the foul.
Nice help by Ali Long there, coming in behind Sonnet, who was then able to just hold up Kerr and draw the foul instead of having to take all the defensive responsibilities by herself.
And so Sonnet, because of Ali Long, Sonnet was free to be able to just muscle Kerr off that ball.
I think I might have liked to see that one get let go.
Certainly, advantage, as because Ali Long had the ball, Portland would have come away with it. But they get the free kick. Skrosky is there, and after some trouble, plays it back to her keeper, Caroline Casey, who has played very well thus far.
And from the You Can't Please Everybody category, Kieran Thievum, one of my Equalizer colleagues, wanted to let me know that he's watching from the UK. So shout out to the UK as well. Looks like we opened Pandora's box here. But it is nice to have people able to watch from around the world all the free YouTube streams.
Fans, there is still time to get your official Sky Blue FC gear at our merchandise stand located on the stadium concourse.
Knocked away by Betos, but we'll see a corner kick coming up for the Bees.
Not a great ball back from Sonnet. Rampone hit the long ball. Sonnet won the race there, but a very poor touch. Betos had to scramble, wasn't able to keep it in.
Nice cutback by Tobin Heath as she brings the ball in the midfield, and a slide tackle from Kelly O'Hara disarms Heath. Two members of the U.S. national team.
It's a great tackle, but nobody from Sky Blue is there to pick up the second ball.
And so Portland still rolling with it. The header is on target.
And they pay for it at the other end.
Portland takes the lead, and they are one step closer to winning the Shield. That goal credited to Lindsey Horan after Nadia Nadim plays a brilliant ball in from the left flank. Over the head of Rampone, Simon was behind Horan.
Horan got inside position on Simon, but that's a great tackle by O'Hara on Heath in the midfield. But again, it wasn't able to produce a scenario in which Sky Blue gained possession.
Portland Thorns SC goal.
The Thorns stuck with it. Great cross by Nadim, whose crossing, to me, has gotten a lot better this season. And Horan has had an outstanding game tonight for Portland.
And so,
Time to go, the 57th minute.
as you said, just a very good cross from Nadim, but Horan, an excellent finish. Yet another ball header on target for Portland. So we saw in the first half, it was Tobin Heath off the free kick with a brilliant through ball, with Ali Long finishing. This time it was Nadia Nadim with the brilliant through ball, Lindsey Horan finishing. That's Horan's 5th goal of the season.
So as they play now, the Thorns have a 2-goal cushion here for their first place finish, and the Shield and Sky Blue right now, if they do not come back in and get at least a draw, will finish sub 500 and 7th place on the table.
'59th minute here in New Jersey, 2-1 Portland. Sky Blue hoping to finish at least 6th, if not 5th, although if this result holds, they would finish 7th on the tiebreaker with FC Kansas City. On the left wing, it's Tobin Heath. She's tackled by Kristen Grubka, who's called for the foul, and we'll see a free kick as Heath is still down, and a yellow card given to Kristen Grubka here in the 59th minute.
He's holding on to the right knee. Probably the right call there on Grubka. Speaking on yellow cards, by the way, the accumulation rules where 5 yellow cards earns you a 1-game suspension. That does not carry over to the playoffs. So for Lindsey Horan, who's had 4 yellow cards since quite early in the season, she cannot be suspended for the semifinal. If she gets a yellow card today, the accumulation does not carry over. A red card, however, would. And you know the Thorns training staff not going to come out here to look at Tobin Heath unless they absolutely have to. Otherwise, she has to come off and can't take the set piece.
And we know that that is her specialty. So Tobin Heath here in the 61st, set to take the free kick. It's low. And on the whistle, looks like just a foul against Portland. They might call that a goal kick. Either way, Sky Blue ball.
This game, I think, is dangerously close to getting away from Sky Blue. Can't be committing fouls in your defensive third. And they're being stretched apart a little bit more so in the last few minutes here. That may be how they decide to play it the rest of the way. Open it up, try to get an equalizer, go from there, realizing that the risk of sending numbers forward is that you might concede again.
So Sky Blue, if you look at the table, they've got 26 points, which is equal with FC Kansas City, but KC has the tiebreaker there. 1 point behind Seattle. They played later tonight. And Sky Blue has the tiebreaker there if the Bees can manage to tie it up here and then Seattle loses tonight to Houston. Nice play in the midfield. And still going is Allie Long. Long with a through ball to Nadim. Casey comes out and grabs it to break up that play as Nadim looking to get her first goal of the night, her 10th of the season.
Nice ball by Long, but someone has to slow her down. That's too much. That's too much space coming through the midfield.
This is the last call for the Sky Blue FC Beer Garden. Fans 21 and older, the Beer Garden will be closing down in the 70th minute. And if you would like to make one last trip tonight, head on down before the Beer Garden closes. Once again, last call for the Sky Blue FC Beer Garden. Fans 21 and older, the Beer Garden closes down
Here's Heath.
in the 70th minute. As always,
nice
if you
pass
choose to drink alcoholic beverages, we ask that you please do so responsibly.
to find Nadim, now from Haran to Allie Long and over to Henri. Back to Amandine Henri. Nice ball. Can't quite find Haran in the box. It was headed away.
One of the great things about the talent on this Thorns team is that they can mix and match a little bit in the midfield. Long playing a little bit deeper in this half. Haran was deeper in the first half, and they're both capable of playing in both spots. Having Henri next to them only makes it that much easier.
'64th minute, 2-1 lead for the Thorns. Grubka, nice boot forward, but it won't find Kai. And she was offside regardless.
Kai spends an awful lot of time in an offside position. Sometimes she makes some kind of tricky runs and her teammates need to do a better job finding her. Sometimes she needs to hold up her run a little bit. And sometimes you want to ride that line and take a chance.
Maya Hayes. Now Killian, who's been holding the midfield. Sky Blue just cannot seem to find an opening here in the second half against Portland. Long intercepts that, a pass back from Grubka to Caroline Casey, and now the ball with captain Christy Rampone.
E equals MC Crunch. Our Crunch protein bars are pure protein genius. Revolutionary nutrition bars with decadent taste and super protein.
A through ball intended for Sam Kerr, doesn't find her, but here's Maya Hayes.
Now that's a genius move.
And Nadim back to grab it. Passes to Betos, who boots it towards the midfield. That header missed by Haran and Simon. Sky Blue comes away. A chip pass finds Portland. Killian chasing it down here. And slides to get the ball to Erica Skrosky. Skrosky named this week by Women's Soccer Weekly as Rookie of the Year. Now, of course, not an official NWSL award, but she's had a very productive first season in the league.
She has. I think, as we've said numerous times, I think her future is as a center back. I think she moved over because it was the best thing for the club, and I think she's been an okay right back. As we get a Sky Blue substitution here, Maya Hayes will come out. Leah Galton will come in. This is a little bit more time than we thought for Galton, who was in concussion protocol. Just got cleared in the last day or so and hasn't really trained a whole lot, but needing goals, why not put out a player who can be explosive? It only takes one opportunity. But Skrosky probably won't get my Rookie of the Year vote. That'll be my year-end votes. Will be in my lowdown column on equalizersoccer.com on Tuesday. But she's had an outstanding season. Started every game, played nearly every minute.
Yeah, all but 6 minutes on the year. The only player who's played every minute is Christy Rampone, but Skrosky just behind her, which is truly incredible because she's played both center back and full back on the right and on the left, and is just a rookie after playing 4 years here at Rutgers at Yurcak Field. Led them to a Final Four last season, their best season ever. And don't forget that Carly Lloyd went to Rutgers.
But I was pleased to see Skrosky get recognized. She's, not a player. She's got the goal, but she's not a player that really gets into the mix or gets discussed a lot, but just really solid, nose for the ball, does not panic or make very many unforced errors.
And so you talk about the draft picks. I mean, all 4 draft picks from Sky Blue this year, 4 rounds, they're all on the field right now. Leah Galton was the 2nd-round pick. Raquel Rodriguez, obviously, number 2 overall. And then Caroline Casey and Erica Skrosky.
Right, I had kept saying earlier that all 4 were in the starting lineup, but Galton obviously off the bench. Erin Simon, another rookie who came through open tryouts after not getting drafted. Has a chance to be one of the great drafts we've seen in women's soccer for one team.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, particularly this year, look around the league, and I don't know if anyone can say they've had the kind of productivity that Sky Blue has gotten from their 4 draft picks this season. Big collision there in midfield between Kai and Long. No whistle. Play will continue. Kelly O'Hara making a run. Here's Sam Kerr, takes a shot on goal. Betos is there. And Kai still on the ground. This is a player who's played in every single match, and yet almost every week seems to get injured in one way or another. Very resilient, but just a tough collision as Kai was going full steam ahead.
You can see, as we've seen on a couple of occasions, and there's no quit and no stop in Natasha Kai, but maybe sometimes there should be. That might be another example of where maybe you don't need to make quite that much effort when you know you're not getting the ball. You're in a mundane part of the field inside the center circle. This time she got the worst of it. The worst one was her and Caprice Didasco here mid-season.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Kai on the ground quite a lot here in New Jersey this year. Fortunately for the team, she always manages to make her way back up. And we'll see a substitution for Portland here in a moment. Dagny Brynjolfsdottir from Iceland. We mentioned there's an Icelandic fan here at the match tonight, a fan of Sky Blue. But Brynjolfsdottir, an Iceland international, just 25 years old, and she will enter the match for Nadia Nadim. So Nadim will not win the Golden Boot as she will finish her regular season with 9 goals. Still a great year for Nadim, her first year away from Sky Blue and with Portland. But Brynjolfsdottir enters the match here in the 70th minute.
And Brynjolfsdottir was originally property of the Boston Breakers, decided that she would want to play in Portland, so they were able to work out a trade. And just another, as Kai still hasn't even set up. So a little bit concerning how long it's taken her to get off the ground, but just a remarkable offseason for the Thorns, which I think has been made only more remarkable by how the pieces have fit together. I was, an admitted skeptic coming into the season. I didn't think they would come together as quickly as they did, and I thought that it would be a challenge, as I'm sure it was, for Mark Parsons to, get the pieces to fit into a system. But it really has been extraordinary. Even when the big players left, a lot of amateurs came in, played some very key minutes, very tough minutes.
So Kai is up and walking off the field now.
And the interesting about Parsons, too, is that it's the Thorns and Spirit now getting in the mix here for the Shield. And, Parsons' fingerprints are on both. He was a guy that came into Washington when they were down in 2013. And kind of like Christy Holly, put a culture change in there and built them up.
Number 9, Nadia Nadim.
And you talk about Coach of the Year candidates for the NWSL, and 2 of the leading candidates have to be on the field right now. Mark Parsons leading his team to perhaps the Shield, the best record in the regular season with, as you said, a lot of moving parts, a lot of new pieces, and getting them to play very well together. He's certainly a candidate. And then Christy Holly, you'd have to say, would be a candidate. Now, it would certainly help if they could at least get the draw here, as Portland has the ball just outside of the box. And it's knocked out of bounds. We'll see a throw in for the Thorns. But with pretty much every single writer and anyone who follows the NWSL heading into this year would have put Sky Blue at 9th or 10th. And the fact that for a decent period of time they were in 4th, if not 5th place, says a lot about it and the culture change that's gone on here. So,
myself included, had them 9th.
So certainly you'll see votes for both Holly and Parsons.
Number 32, Tasha.
Got a little Twitter reminder about the new law in the game that when your player is yellow carded, that injured player can receive treatment and not leave the field. So I stand corrected on my commentary earlier when Tobin Heath was being looked at.
There's no cost to join, and there are events with our players. Check us out at iPlay America, Sky Zone, in Quaker State of Moon.
Rocky Rodriguez hits the deck, and we'll see a free kick for the Bees here in the 73rd minute. Killian will take it and play it back to Kristen Grubka. Grubka, who is a teammate of Brynjolfsdottir at Florida State. I actually happened to call one of their matches. Grubka was there on the back line. That was the year they went on to win the national championship. Brynjolfsdottir was there. There was actually another player from Iceland named Thorvaldsdottir. Very few easy names come out of Iceland.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ball with Sam Kerr, takes a shot. It's deflected, and we'll see a sky blue corner kick. But a big deflection from, I believe that was Sonnet.
Well, Sky Blue hasn't done a whole lot. Here's the replay.
That was Sonnet there.
Sky Blue hasn't done a whole lot here lately. They've got 16 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It is time now to make something happen. They got their first goal off a corner. Here's another chance.
Here's Kelly O'Hara. Cross into the box. Headed away by Portland. Simon, she's got some space. Can she rip it? No, she gives it. Intended for Rampone, but it's stolen away by the Thorns. 75th minute now. Contact there. And a foul called against Killian. And that looked to be a pretty routine foul. Tobin Heath still on the ground. There's Killian checking on her.
Coming into the game in the 75th minute for your Sky Blue.
And we see another substitution for Sky Blue. Nikki Stanton enters for Raquel Rodriguez.
So the rookie season ends for the Herman Trophy Award winner. And I think a very good rookie season. I think she'll get better. I think she probably needs some time off.
Yeah, remember she went straight from her Penn State season and Costa Rican World Cup qualifying and then right into the Sky Blue season. So, as you said, almost no time off. Still came away with a goal and an assist and did a nice job holding in that midfield.
And a very not very much spoken about, but a very good defensive player in midfield.
So that foul against Brynjolfsdottir. Brynjolfsdottir was actually runner-up for the Mac Herman Trophy when she was at Florida State, lost to Morgan Bryan. Through ball. Here for Leah Galton. She is called offside. And the fans booing, partly you'd have to say because of the call, but also sometimes the fans don't like it when they wait until the player receives the ball.
Yeah, you see the official is only a few yards beyond the center circle, and Galton was up inside the 18 when the play was blown dead.
Oftentimes many fans would prefer the play just blown dead right when it happens, before the players sprint down the field and try to make a play on the ball.
Well, coaches too, because a little bit more time there, that could be a collision in the waiting.
And of course, fortunately, it was not here. Nice through ball from Sinclair for Brynjolfsdottir. Last touch off Rampone, and we'll see a corner kick for Portland. Brynjolfsdottir scored against Sky Blue at the match in Portland. She's got 5 goals on the season to go along with 1 assist. So a key player, still young, just 25 years old, from Iceland. Heath to take it. Klingenberg sprints towards the center. And Sky Blue moving quickly. They'll try to counter.
Haran had that. She did not have a mark.
Sam Kerr across the field to Rampone, who's now playing in an attacking position. You don't see this too often. Rampone will get another shot. Looks like she'll slow down now. And actually gives it away to Brynjolfsdottir, although Sky Blue will earn this right back. Nikki Stanton. Entered as a substitute against Orlando about 2 weeks ago here. Came in the 54th, so a little bit later tonight.
Meridian Health and Sky Blue
But she's been
FC
helpful off the bench for the Bees.
Christy Holly credited Stanton's appearance in that game with helping turn it around. The Pride were winning and had the better of the play, and that was the game where Kai's on the ground again. I didn't see what happened there. She's on the sideline on the ground, but Stanton came in. That was the game where Sarah Killian played by herself on top of the back four, and Stanton came in and kind of shored up that area of the field and helped Sky Blue turn it around and get the draw.
Nice defense there, marking from Kristen Grubka. Here's Allie Long. Long with Stanton defending. Back to Henri, and now over to the left flank with Megan Klingenberg. Henri. Klingenberg in the box. She's got a little bit of space, and it's broken up by Kelly O'Hara, who, while she's played in a more attacking position tonight, certainly not afraid to come back on defense.
Feels like Portland taking the lead is kind of taking the air out of the crowd here, doesn't it?
Yeah, certainly. As Sky Blue early on, the crowd was, roaring. Everyone was really into it. They had hope not just that Sky Blue could earn the draw, but that they could win. Certainly seems unlikely they can win this match, but 1 point would be nice, even against such a successful club.
Well, a point makes it a 500 season.
500 season puts you in 6th place instead of 7th, because you currently, right now, lose the tiebreaker to Kansas City and would finish officially in 7th. So without a doubt, they would like that 1 point. They'd like the 3 points, although that seems certainly out of reach here. So the 1 point is what Sky Blue is aiming for if they can get a goal and, of course, stop Portland from scoring again, as they're still looking good. Amandine Henri in the midfield. Brynjolfsdottir dispossessed by Aaron Simon. Ball here with Leah Galton, who traditionally plays as a left wing.
All Sky Blue FC season ticket holders with a wristband, we ask that you please start making your way to the Sky Blue FC Beer Garden as we begin preparing for your exclusive post-game meet and greet with our players, coaches, and staff. Once again, all Sky Blue FC season
Shauna Gordon over at the 4th officials table. She'll be next in for Sky Blue.
Shauna Gordon, another player. Gordon and Stanton, 2 players who have factored in productive minutes off the bench. And they did get some starts in, particularly when some players were gone for international duty. O'Hara and Kerr, or some other players were injured. But both Stanton and Shauna Gordon from California, both good players to have on your bench. We won't see tonight Taylor Lytle, who's out with a left knee sprain. She's started in 18 matches, only behind Rampone and Skrosky. She did miss the one. now missing her second tonight with injury. But she's been a key factor, leads the team in assists with 4. Casey goes up to try to grab it, and the foul called against Portland. Horan on the ground holding her head. Casey was able to pick it up on the second shot anyway, but...
Those are the probing balls we talked about in the Orlando game that Casey might struggle with. Didn't get that one clean. Would have worked out even without the foul, but that'll be an area Caroline Casey wants to work on in the offseason to bring back a little bit stronger in April.
So here's Portland working from the left side. It's through to Horan, but knocked away by Aaron Simon. We were mentioning Taylor Lytle and how she's played so much and that she leads, as now we see Shauna Gordon entering in. And for Portland, we'll see Haley Rasso.
In the 83rd minute, number 2, Shauna Gordon. She replaces number 32, Tasha.
And so Gordon does come in for Kai. Gordon a midfielder, but Kai just looked like she couldn't play much more tonight. She did score that goal in the 6th minute. But with Lytle, she leads the team with 4 assists, and that just goes to show Heath, who now has 10, just how truly incredible that is.
I do think that looking ahead to some of the ways Sky Blue could improve, I do think they need a little bit of a more dynamic midfielder, and whether Raquel Rodriguez becomes that, we'll find out. They need a more dynamic midfielder that can boss the midfield and make that decisive final pass. Lytle's had a nice season, but I don't look at her as the type of player that breaks down a defense by putting players in behind the defense.
Christine Sinclair comes off for the Thorns. So her regular season is done. Certainly successful, and was with the Canadian national team as not just the captain and best player currently for Canada, but certainly the best player of all time in Canada and one of the best players in the history of women's soccer. So
there is no doubt about that, and her game is so much more than all the goals she scored.
Absolutely. We saw tonight, I mean, she didn't get on the board in terms of scoring, but she was able to make some brilliant passes, including the one earlier, and there's a goal for Portland. That will do it, as they can now feel comfortable after that goal from Allie Long that they will, in fact, win the Shield in the 4th NWSL season.
That's Rasso right off the bench, who followed Mark Parsons here from Washington.
And Rampone making a rare mistake. Certainly don't see that too much from her.
Yeah, maybe that's a sign with when you see Christy Rampone fall down like that trying to defend Allie Long that it's about time for the season to wind down here in Sky Blue. And you can just feel in the last 5 or 10 minutes, really for the first time all season, Sky Blue team let down just a little bit.
And so the Thorns now leading 3-1 here in the 85th minute of New Jersey. As I said, we were talking about earlier that all Portland needs is a draw to win the Shield, and with about 5 minutes and change left, they've pretty much secured that.
Well, I can tell you that here's a little circuitous history here, but Sam Kerr scored in the last 4 games. The only other player to do that for Sky Blue is Monica Ocampo.
There's a header from the aforementioned Kerr, who obviously hasn't gotten on the board tonight.
Ocampo did it over a 5-game stretch where she missed 1 game in there, but in one of those games against FC Kansas City, she actually scored twice inside of the 86th minute, including an incredible goal from a crazy angle in stoppage time to work out a draw against FC Kansas City. So crazier things have happened, including right here at Yurcak.
And Sam Kerr, you mentioned the run. She's got 5 goals, only 8 appearances. Tonight was her 9th appearance of this season and her 6th start. 5 goals on the season, 4 of which coming in the last 4 matches, which is just such an incredible tear that she's been on. And I think both sides would leave feeling pretty happy if she could manage to score twice. They might get 1 here. No, somehow broken up. Sky Blue cannot find the back of the net in the 87th minute. And that would have certainly made this a little bit more exciting. But Sky Blue, Kelly O'Hara just gets past Klingenberg, her fellow fullback for the national team. Instead of opting for the shot, she made the pass to Leah Galton, and it didn't make it all the way there.
And great defending by Catherine Reynolds to come over from her right back spot, slide in there, right place, right time, cleared it out of trouble.
So O'Hara opts not to shoot, looks for Galton, who has 3 goals on the year. Haran is intercepted by Grubka, and it's booted towards the midfield. Gordon double-teamed by Henri and Brynjasdottir.
Your attention, please.
Throw in coming now for the Portland Thorns. 3-1.
Additional time will be indicated by the 4th official on the sideline.
And they are now just minutes away from officially winning the Shield. Nice cross from Brynjasdottir. And there's Kelly O'Hara on the right side. Stanton passes to Killian, and now back over to the right flank with Kelly O'Hara.
Christine Sinclair, by the way, is on the trainer's table behind the bench. Can't tell if she's being checked for a concussion or maybe to see if there's anything out of place up there by the bridge of her nose, but she is getting some treatment.
We've now entered the 89th minute here in Piscataway, New Jersey. Sky Blue trails the Portland Thorns 3-1. And a long shot taken. Too much power that time. And Caroline Casey will take the goal kick for Sky Blue FC. A slide tackle there, and Brynjasdottir comes away with it. Through pass for Rasso. She's in the box. Grubka intercepts it and knocks it out of bounds. We'll see a Portland throw-in.
So one more game left. After this is actually the last YouTube stream of the season. Everything else is FS1. Rain and Dash tonight. And then the playoffs next weekend and the NWSL Championship on October 9th in Houston.
And so if this is your first or your 10th broadcast here in New Jersey, and however many if you've watched, I guess it wouldn't be every single match because there have been those few, but if you've watched pretty much every match on YouTube this year, we thank you so much for joining us. Throw in here in the 90th minute, and we'll see how much added time there will be from the 4th referee. 4 minutes.
The 4th official has indicated that a minimum of 4 minutes.
So about 4 minutes left to play here in New Jersey before the regular season ends. Portland walks away with the Shield. Sky Blue walks away in 7th place on the tiebreaker with 26 points. And then the Thorns, of course, next week have a semifinal matchup.
And the Washington Spirit, they still have the big trophy in front of them, which is the championship. If they can beat now, looks like Chicago, and then the winner of Thorns and Flash, but they'll have to live with the fact that they could not get results against Seattle or Chicago.
And for Portland, you have to feel, if you're a fan of the Thorns, you have to feel very good about the way the team has played recently. They haven't lost a match since August 27th at Seattle. That, of course, will continue tonight. So, and, of course, going up to Seattle, the rivalry match between Seattle and Portland always a tough match for them, but the fact that they finished strong, they've had a great season, as they'll finish with the best record in the league, especially after last year missing the postseason. Just a big year for Mark Parsons and his club. Referee makes contact with the ball. Allie Long cuts past Killian. Flick off Heath.
Parsons, when he got the job, said it was too good an opportunity to turn down a chance to come work for a club with so many resources. They used those resources. They gave him a very good team, and he has produced. Third straight year in the playoffs for Parsons.
Through ball here for Sky Blue. And it's knocked out of the box by Emily Menges. Little more than 2 minutes into stoppage time. So a couple minutes left to go, and looks like we'll see one more substitution from Portland before this match is up. Kat Williamson will enter into this match, just her 5th appearance of the season.
And we mentioned that she hurt her knee back in the second game of the season in Kansas City and just never was able to get back into the starting 11. Menges and eventually Emily Sonnet have held down the fort in central defense, though I will stress as we head to the playoffs that Emily Menges has been among the most important players on this Thorns team and will continue to be, I believe, when they get to the playoffs.
So certainly the Thorns have their eyes on next weekend, looking to make it to the championship match for 2016. And she enters in for Megan Klingenberg.
Well, you put the jinx on Klingenberg playing every minute, but how about the fact that Christy Rampone, who turned 41 during the season and had knee surgery in the offseason, will play every minute of every game for Sky Blue FC, and very well for most of that time.
Absolutely amazing. And not just did she play well, but she made her teammates much better.
And we can only hope there's another season left in the tank.
Back to Betos. Galton tries to make a play on the ball. And this match should end any minute now.
There are an awful lot of people down by that Thorns bench. Thorns fans and I'm sure autograph seekers as well.
Absolutely, people who want to get close to the team as they are prepared to celebrate in just a few moments.
Flash in 2013, Seattle the last 2 seasons, and the Thorns will keep the NWSL Shield in the Pacific Northwest.
Ball with Rasso. She'd like to add a goal if she can. Casey comes out. Too much down the far post that actually hasn't gone out yet. And that might be a throw-in. It won't be anything as the game is over, the regular season over, and the Portland Thorns have won the NWSL Shield for 2016. They conclude with 41 points, best in the league. And Portland Thorns FC wins the Shield for 2016. Sky Blue FC finishes on a disappointing result, losing 3-1 here at home. But still, a big year in terms of organizational culture, a big change there from Christy Holly and company, and certainly a bright future if you're a fan of Sky Blue. For everyone who joined us, again, whether it was just one match or all 10 here in New Jersey, we want to thank you so much for joining us here from Piscataway throughout the season. We want to thank Kurt Chimay and NJ Discover for producing all these broadcasts all year long. Again, thank the fans and everyone so much for their support. One final time, in the final match of the season, Portland Thorns defeats Sky Blue FC 3-1 to conclude the regular season. One last time, for Dan Lauletta, I'm Corey Cohen, signing off from NWSL Soccer in New Jersey.